Hey, I was going to go to sleep, but it felt like my heart was breaking. I don't know. It felt weird, you know? It was like somebody out there was crying, but I couldn't figure out who it was. And when I was asking what to do about it, it was this. I got the message to talk to you. It's December 14th at 2:33 a.m. 2021. Let's see. I feel a little disoriented, honestly. It's like I just want to hug you. I don't know what's going on. I hope you're okay. See what you need to hear. The tower. Can you? Oh, you can't see the cards, can you? I can't really see the camera because, the screen, because the camera is in front of the screen. If I move it, deal with it. I'll show you the cards one at a time. Queen of Pentacles, but it popped out in reverse. Two of Cups, popped out in reverse. This is heavy. This might not be for all of you, but I feel like there's somebody that just drank something, like they're home drunk, and they're thinking about something that I don't know why Cher is coming up in my head. The singer, Cher. You know that feeling of when you know you're supposed to do something. This light is so purple. Is it purple? Or is that my aura? You know that feeling when the universe keeps telling you something and you don't listen? And then the universe does exactly what you should have done, but it does it instantly. And it turns your world upside down. And you realize what regrets you made. This is divine intervention. This is also not a snarky "I told you so," but like a warning from the universe that you didn't listen, and then it becomes literal, and then it becomes something that it becomes literal. For some of you, you're realizing who you let go of, and you're regretting it. For others of you, something has happened in your life recently, maybe due to a father figure or the lack of one, that caused a mother figure to be burdened with a lot of responsibility. You can do it. There you are. You can do it. Mothers and fathers are stronger than they think they are. Sorry, I thought I had like massive cleavage because of this hair that was there. I was like, damn, I got boobs. No, little bitty. You know when your hair gets really long really fast and it tangles no matter what you do? If that happens to you, total side note, there's a nice trick you can use that I'm going to do later tomorrow and show you. Especially if you want to lighten your hair, but you don't want to bleach it. Take a little bit of bleach powder, like hair bleach, not bleach, and mix it in with your conditioner and just massage it in through your hair. Leave it on for like 10 minutes, 15 minutes, wash it out. Do like once or twice every month. Maybe like don't use a lot of bleach at all, just barely any. You can also do this with coffee if you want to get your hair darker. You can use beets if you want to make your hair redder. Mint works. Mint water turns your hair to like a earthy brown. If you need help with that stuff, just email me. I used to do a lot of hair stuff in a salon in Chicago. Okay. This reading here, the Tower, Queen of Pentacles, Two of Cups in reverse. I'm going to tell you like a line, a quote, okay? And I want you to apply that to your life if it resonates, and if it doesn't, toss it out. There is a quote by Elizabeth Gilbert that says, "Ruin is the road to transformation." The regrets of the past, anything prior to the last second, are in the past. You can't do anything about them. You can't unburn that building. You can't untraumatize those children. You cannot untraumatize the mother who's been alive longer than the children, who had a life before she had children. She was a daughter, a sister, an aunt, a friend. But when they come together, she becomes a wife and a mother, a guardian, a provider. This mother is supposed to be supported, but there was no support, so the divine intervened. You know when you say, oh, it feels like I'm living in a burning house, but you don't get out of the situation you're in until your house is that. Dude, why is it purple? By the way, in the previous video, there were some clicking sounds. If you hear that again, please comment and let me know. The Emperor, look at that. Rebirth at the bottom of the deck. We're going to take that. Ace of Cups in reverse. We're not taking that. Listen, what you did prior to watching this video, put it in a little box just for now, okay? Just for now. That feeling you feel based on what happened in your life just now, or earlier today, or whatever pain you're carrying, can you do anything about it to change it right now? There is no correct answer. In some situations you can. You can't change this specific experience, but you can change. I'm being shown a train that's going in a circle, and the train conductor moves the train to the other track. and the train was going like this, and now it's going like that, and you think the stopping of the loop you were in is traumatic, because it is. Now, you've heard me say all these things, right? You're thinking about them. There's probably a lot of thoughts in your head, a lot of weird feelings, probably hungover, probably just got laid, probably had something terrible happen, and I'm sorry if it did. I really am. It's not easy to go through what you're going through and then to do it silently. And then when you ask for help, they just mock you. There is a distinct lack of the father figure in your life, or there was. And the mother figure you have or had so much burdens on her that she taught her children how to defend not only her but themselves before they were even old enough to drive a car or go to high school or the 7th grade, whatever your situation was or is. Oh, that's why it's purple. Never mind. I want to tell you that everything's going to be okay, but it won't matter. Because you have to integrate. You have to forgive your parents. You have to forgive yourself as parents. They are people. One day you might be a parent and you might traumatize your child, or you might be traumatized by someone that you thought was supposed to protect you and your children. Don't give that power to anyone. Teach your children compassion. Through compassion, they will learn and recognize wisdom. For some of you, there's a relationship here that was left to burn, and you want that relationship back. But there's been so much that's happened in between that you don't know how to communicate. For those of you that are stuck in communication limbo, let's see what advice God has for you. The Awakening card in reverse, which is the Rebirth card. So those of you that want to communicate but you don't know how, the best way to do it is honestly and express your fear. Vulnerability is power. You know that. If you fear rejection because of something that's happened in the past, then that fear you feel will bring about the thing you fear. And if we look at this in a different way, the Tower, the Queen of Pentacles in reverse, Two of Cups in reverse, there's someone who's just had enough. They don't want to deal with relationships. They don't want to deal with finances. They don't want to deal with anything. They're simply doing what they need to do for themselves, to better themselves, to build their own life. The Queen might be in reverse, but she's in reverse because her pentacle is helping create her emperor status within herself. Notice the male and female here. Which one's which? Like, which one was before and after, or are they both there at the same time? Or is it a gender transition where you're going from female to male, or you're balancing your masculine and feminine energies and learning how to rule an empire from the rubble? Three major arcana, one court card, and one card with two cups in reverse. This is absolute divine intervention in your life regarding a female figure within your experience of life that you shared a cup with, that you abandoned, and that you chose money over her. That's for a few of you, maybe three of you. Others of you, this is complete divine intervention to get you off your asses and into the place you're supposed to be. Notice these two women who are sitting on their butts, waiting for the man, right? And the man is here looking at the woman, but she's not sitting on her butt anymore. Some of you are getting lots and lots and lots and lots of respect for what you've been through, the stories you've shared, how you've picked yourself up and turned things around. Pick yourself up and, no, dust yourself off and try again. Dust yourself off and try again. If we look at this in a very Walmart kind of way, there's a breakup, there's a reunion, there's a masculine force interfering with a feminine force and a masculine force from coming together. There are three men involved in the lives of three women that are keeping the women down while the men are elevated by the help of the women. Regardless of genitals, okay? Your genitals don't make you a man or a woman. Your heart does. Two of Swords in reverse. What you have heard during this reading has clarified some things for you, hasn't it? Eight of Wands. Message coming in. Page of Pentacles in Page of Wands in reverse. Page of Pentacles. Oh, some of you wanted to learn something or to study something, but you decided not to. Think about it again later. Some of you decided that you don't want to communicate with someone anymore, and others of you are really, 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 really anxious on messaging someone. So much so that you stand before them. They see you with the message, but you're afraid to communicate with them. Why? Why would you waste that opportunity and allow more time to go by? I don't like that you can't see these cards, but I'm in my PJs, so bear with me. Belly rolls. You still can't see the cards, can you? Oh, there we go. I'm literally in my PJs. I just got out of bed to do this reading for you. Temperance and the Knight of Cups and the Eight of Pentacles. Okay, look. That's where you were sitting. That's why I can't move it too easily unless I pick up the whole thing. So we have the Tower, the Queen of Pentacles in reverse, Two of Cups in reverse. Then we have the Emperor under the Tower. Judgment. There's no name on this card, but it's number 19, I think. Two of Swords, Page of Wands, both in reverse. Clarity on a situation that you didn't want to communicate about or take initiative on. But now you will be, and you will extend some offer towards someone that has gone through something that has changed them deeply. And you're going to be expressing a message to this person. Now, remember, if you don't have anyone in your life romantically, then this is just about you, isn't it? And if this is about you, then you're exhausted because of everything that you've been through. You've been abandoned, betrayed, let down, everything that happens in the tarot deck. You've been through it. Sorry. I'm like arguing with myself in my head how to get you to stop being stagnant. If you love someone, tell them. If you have insecurities about yourself, confront them. I'm not going to look at this as a foretelling kind of thing, like, oh, this is going to happen or that's going to happen. What I'm going to do right now is look at this like I'm looking at you and you're in my presence and you're hurt. You have no confidence, really. You might pretend like you do, but you don't. There's a masculine figure in your life energetically that it's like this is so convoluted. What did you get yourself into? Who are you? Nine of Swords. Five of Pentacles. Nine of Swords again at the bottom of the deck. Look. Buddy. Soul fam. Why do you why do you have to make things so complicated? Why? I just don't get it. I was born around 1980. And back then, and I was raised by people born in the 1940s, 1950s, 1930s. Yeah. I also knew my great-great-grandmother who was born well into the late 1800s. You know what the kind of morals those people had. Nothing got in the way of family. Nothing. Not war, not drugs, nothing. The society that we've been living in, it likes to discard a lot. People have been taught by demons, kind of their darker aspects, what to do. They listen to the ego in their head, and they think that ego is the voice of God. Just like some channelers think they're channeling, I don't know, whoever. But it's an entity, or their ego, or their higher self that isn't very high. You can recognize energy, can't you? Regardless of the skin suit. So what you've been doing in your life hasn't worked. The universe showed you it didn't work. You thought the universe was punishing you. It wasn't. It was just doing everything you should have done every time you got that feeling inside that you should do something, but you didn't do it. So the universe did it for you, and it didn't feel nice at all. This could be a masculine that took everything from a feminine and walked off to another feminine or another masculine. They shared their cups, they shared their wands, they shared their swords, they shared their fluids. But now this person who was listening to the snake sees the goddess and the god within themselves as well as the other. Let me use another deck. What's the advice here? Because I can feel all of this, and the only thing I could do for you if you were here is I would hug you. I'd make you some tea, cook you something, cut up a bowl of fruit. We'll watch like a cartoon or something. Or we'll watch nothing and we'll just sit and be silent. People, like I was saying earlier, people nowadays don't recognize the small things. They think that every gesture needs to be grand, that everything needs to be glorious. It already is. You're just ruining it by trying to make it, something it isn't. So allow the clarity, the common sense inside you, your shadow side. The side of you that bitches at you when you don't do something you should do. The side of you that criticizes you, the side of you that makes fun of you. Have you ever listened to that side? Do you ever wonder if that side of you was more positive, more uplifting? How would those negative conversations you have in your mind be? They would be helpful, wouldn't they? Now, when you're with a child, and the child is sitting there calling out for you over and over and over, eventually that child is going to start screaming. Their voice gets louder and louder and louder. When they want your attention, don't they? And eventually they yell or they say something really mean. That's what they do. It's what we all do. It's like that school teacher who yelled quiet so loud she broke like a sound barrier. She broke a sound barrier by yelling at her kids and the students she had to be quiet. And she said quiet so loud that it, like they measured it when she did it again. Google it. My point is, if your inner voice, if you listen to it, and instead of being attacked by it, you actually observe it and recognize that when you're calling yourself ugly, or when you're calling yourself someone else ugly, or when you're being mean to yourself in whatever way that you are, recognize that that's a wounded part of you that is disappointed in how you've been leading your life. So it's being mean to you. It's like the only way that it can get through to you now is because you've been too busy. And every time Spirit asks you to create something, you're like, no. So Spirit did what it did, and now you're like, I don't have nothing. I don't know what to do. Well, I mean, what do you expect, right? So now that you're in this situation, it's in the past. What did you learn to do differently? Are you going to be victimized by yourself? Or are you going to write down those victimizing thoughts and write the opposite on the opposite side of the paper? 5 of discs at the bottom of this deck too. You really feel left out. Oh, they're still in. Sorry. Shiny object, I get distracted. The Devil, the Empress, Page of Discs, the Hanged Man, King of Cups in reverse. Someone that listened to the snake inside them, walked away from an Empress, left her carrying things that she couldn't handle on her own until she could, and then the Hanged Man sees things differently and wants to come back because they are hanging in their emotions. As advice for you, the devil is not your enemy. The devil is the friend you have that tells you what you need to hear. No, don't get me wrong, there is something out there, but it's within us first. We're the ones that put it there. The funny thing is, if I flip these cards around like this, if I just hold them like this, the Empress is looking at the devil and holding the baby behind her. But if I flip them like this, It's literally still the same order, isn't it? But the focus of the Empress is different. So are you focused on your future, your children, your friends, people that need you? Or are you focused on the narcissistically abusive relationships you've been in the past that have not served you? And regardless of your choice, are you willing to traumatize the next generation based on your weaknesses that you're not willing to release and evolve from and integrate and strengthen? The devil isn't just about addictions. It's about stuff you don't want to do. And if you don't do what you're supposed to be doing for the benefit of your family and others, then those threads get carried by your children and their children's children. And they have to sort out the tapestry you wove. You have to see what happened in your life in a different way. This King of Cups just screwed you over, whether it's you screwing someone else over or them screwing you over, or it's you screwing yourself over. The emotional intelligence of this person was not very high. Going through what you went through, together or separate or by yourself, has taught you that even in the darkness, even in your despair, there's power, there's wisdom, there's creation. You bloomed where you were planted. Now it's time to accept what the new that's coming to you and recognize how to handle that energy within you. Because you are this, and you have a family to grow, a legacy to leave behind. Temperance. 2022 is the year of the tiger, and tigers are very good mothers. Some of you could be getting pregnant and having a child. Congratulations. You're going to be great. You really are. Just as long as you don't allow your pain to become the wounds of your children. There's another pregnant lady right there. 3 people working together, getting those pentacles off that tree. I got it from the dollar store. Isn't it cute? These are from a Dollar Tree. They are amazing, and you guys should get them. They're called prayer cards. I don't know if they still have them, but I'm fairly certain you can order them online. Cast your cares on the Lord, and he will sustain you. He will never let the righteous fall. Psalms 55:22. I apologize for the lighting. I don't know what's going on here. I will try a different set of ring lights later. You know, I've done a lot of studying regarding biblical things, and well, not really, but kind of. I don't want to lie and say I'm like, certified or something with philosophy or theosophy or whatever it's called. But I've been shown what I've needed to be shown. And I want you to, for just a moment, take the concept of the Lord being a man or a woman out of the situation. I want you to replace the word the Lord, where it says, cast your cares on the Lord. We know who the Lord is, right? We love him. But some people have stigmas regarding religion, regarding Christ. So what I want you to do is look up Psalms 55:22. And I want you to replace any word that says the Lord or Father with divine law, source, and see how that makes you feel. Notice inside you the disconnect from what you consider the biblical Father God. This isn't to get you to be any kind of religion or any of that, okay? This is to get you to notice something within yourself. We have all been disconnected, or we assume we've been disconnected, and the reason being is usually the disconnection is ingrained as a fact within us. And then there's division and confusion cast. So we want to eliminate all that because words have power. So I want you to change the wording to something that makes you comfortable in allowing yourself to be embraced by God. Now, when I say God, I mean usually two of two things, usually a lot of things. But part of it is Yeshua. The other part is source, like all of it, everywhere. What some don't comprehend is that the source, the all, the everywhere, incarnated as Yeshua and the other masters that came. So if you feel that Christianity or Islam or Hinduism, and I apologize if I don't know all the words, but all the religions in the world, okay? If you have a stigma towards them where you feel like you're just kind of shying away from them because they're whatever they are, I want you to change the wording. Just look at how you connect differently. Language is very powerful. I was raised in the Assyrian language, which is what's that word? A progression of Aramaic. So in that language, when I think in my mind, in my native language, my body responds in a more aligned way with my mind and spirit. If I'm thinking in English, I feel distant from myself because English is the sixth language I learned. Sixth, I think. Assyrian, Persian, German, Spanish. Doesn't matter. When I think in my native language, I can connect with myself more. Those of you you just speak English, it's difficult for you to recognize the deceit in the English language. Because English is a bastardized language of many other languages put together. It doesn't have a historical root kind of thing, and it changes every year based on social media. I mean, the way some of you guys talk lately, I don't even know, like, what the fuck's a goat? And I found out earlier today, goat means greatest of all time. Somebody called me goat earlier, and I was like, are you calling me a goat? I'm not a Capricorn. My mom's a Capricorn. And they're like, no, it means greatest of all time. I'm like, how old are you? He was like 22, and I'm like, oh my God. 20 years older than this 22-year-old kid, and this kid called me a fucking goat on the internet. And I was almost getting like upset, like, why is this person making fun of me, like calling me that? Like, what did I do? And then I recognized within my mind, like, oh, it's like one of those Assyrian expressions. Okay. But you guys, in English, you have your thing, right? Like when you say a word, you feel the vibration of the word, don't you? So when I tell you, cast your cares on the Lord, and he will sustain you, which part of you pulls back and says, that's Christianity, I don't like it? But what if Christianity wasn't a thing? What if I told you, cast your cares on Yeshua? What if I said, cast your cares on the Christ within? However you see the Christ within. What if I said, cast your cares on the Divine Mother within? It's different, isn't it? But we seem to have a stigma with, you know what? And it's sad. It's sad to be afraid of the King of Compassion. Listen, I want you to just breathe. There's a song called Daughter. I think it's by Pearl. I'm not exactly sure, but it's something, daughter just be held, something like that. I want you to listen to music that is, you know what? You should listen to music that is lyricless. You should do something that brings about within you the feeling of compassion. Because you can't really recognize who the Christ is within yourself or others when you can't recognize what compassion is or true leadership. I'm getting so many messages, and it's like they're all under the same umbrella. How much longer are you going to let yourself suffer? How much longer? The only person hurting you is you. Those people that hurt you aren't there. So instead of trying so hard, why don't you just sit with your emotions? I'll sit here with you. Just acknowledge there is a part of you that likes to ruin you. And when you distract it with ruining other people, that guilt stays with you subconsciously. When we activate the vibration of compassion within us, we don't do that stuff anymore. I want you to how can I explain to you what it feels like for you to pay attention to what your heart feels on a deeper level than you have been? It's not just a layer where you're like, oh, I found compassion. No, there's all this down here too. Compassion isn't one-dimensional. You can't just say, I felt it once, it's fine. Live in it. Live in it. Saturate your heart in compassion. So much so that, like the King of Cups and the Hangman, that you turn all that water into a lush forest around you. Let your tears become rivers. Let your anger become volcanoes. Let your your wisdom become like the wind. Don't hold it in. If you want to make a YouTube channel, make a YouTube channel. If you want to go do something, put in the work. Not physically just yet, emotionally, to be able to handle having what you want. Think about it. So many people want so much stuff, but are you really the person emotionally, mentally, and physically for some of you? Because some of you are like wanting to get into better shape or to eat healthier. Are you truly able to say that if God bestowed upon you $10 million right now, that you wouldn't ruin it? Can you really say that if God brought your divine partner to your face right now and put him in front of you, him or her, that you would be ready to treat that person with dignity and respect as if they are a sacred gift? Can you? There are parts of you that you know need to be cleaned of beliefs that aren't yours, behavior that isn't yours, energy that isn't yours. I'm hearing in the back of my mind someone sitting there watching card readings, and they're telling you about how this person's cheating, or that person's cheating, or this person's doing this or that. That all goes into your subconscious, and it all manifests somehow for you. So I want you to stop listening to people that instill fear in you. Okay? Just for a few days. And please drink some water. Clear, clear water. More than you pee out. So if you pee 3 times a day, drink 4 glasses of water. It's simple. Please stop eating so much meat. It's not good. It really isn't. Sometimes it's a sign of respect for a fallen animal, like a farm animal when it passes. You consume that animal and its spirit goes on through you. But to needlessly butcher so many just so you can have chicken nuggets, would you kill that chicken? Would you skin it? Would you defeather it? Would you hold it in your hand while its quivering life fades from it? Would you bite into it while it's still alive? If you do, that's your path. It's okay. I'm not judging you. I'm just bringing clarity to you for what you're doing. Because we seem to think that we're doing things and it's normal and it's okay. And the world lately is showing you nothing about this is normal. Nothing about what you've done is normal. And if you look at yourself through the eyes of your future self, 50 years down the line, 100 years down the line, 6 months down the line, 3 months down the line. I had a really good friend once named Ivy. And when I was going through my stuff with the take your pick, whichever ex it was, she told me, can you handle this for another 6 months? Can you go through what you're going through for another 6 months, day by day, hour by hour, minute by minute? The same way you've been doing it. Even if you move one little thing here and change one little thing there, can you do this for another 6 months? I know I can't keep smoking cigarettes for another 6 months. I simply just don't enjoy it anymore. I bought my last pack a few days ago, and I've just been kind of like over it, just over it. I ate a pizza the other day that had sausage on it and pepperoni. I was sick to my stomach for like 3 days. No. When was that? What day is today? Wednesday? Tuesday? It was like last Wednesday. Sorry, I don't know time here. I really don't. That's why I'm always like repeating the time when I'm making videos, just to make sure like this is time, this is the day, this is what we're doing. I am asking you, not as me, as you. Can you keep doing what you've been doing for all this time? No, right? Even if it's really good, you're still wanting to change something and improve something, right? Well, accept this advice from me, from someone who's fucked up a lot. Make certain you're ready for what you say you're ready for. Otherwise, you won't be, and you'll ruin it. Right person, wrong time. Right job, wrong time. Right family, wrong mindset. You know? I love you. What else can I do? I feel like I don't want to leave you alone. But you're not alone. I mean, I felt you before I felt you. So you're not alone. I might not know everything you're saying or thinking or feeling, but it's like echoes in the ethers. It's like prayers. I don't know what they want. I don't know how it sounds or how to describe it to you. It's like a flavor, a taste, a sound, all mixed together. It's like an energetic imprint, like a signature of some kind. I'm smelling wine, red wine, like dark red wine, very beautiful color. If you drink wine, do this one thing. It's an old wives' tale. If you drink wine, hold your hand over it and bless it. Bless it with the light of life, God. The reason being, liquid water has memory. Alcohol, especially wine, has the memory of being smushed, drained, crushed, and strung out, dried out in a fucking barrel somewhere, left to ferment in its own traumatic experience of a grape, of being smashed, and then absorbing the memories and thoughts and feelings of all the people that were around that barrel, whatever the wine was fermented in. And then it sits in the store and it absorbs energy from all the people walking past, all their thoughts, all their energies, all their looking at it and thinking what they were thinking when they're looking at it. So I want you to bless that. And if you've ever seen alcohol under a microscope, it's like a distorted cell. It's like Google it. It's fascinating what alcohol looks like under a microscope. It literally looks like your cells, the light within you, breaks. It's horrible. But if you're a powerful magician, bless the wine. That way the spirits associated with spirits, alcohol, are more on a higher level of consciousness, you know? Wine should be sacred, like it is in Italy. It's shared with family, with friends. You drink a glass a day, it helps your heart. But the wine there is made in a country that is kissed by the sun. It doesn't have the red mist that this country has. So you want to turn that mist into a breeze. An hour long. Do you feel better? Are you okay? I'm okay. It's 3:33 in the morning. I grew up in Germany for 10 years of my life. And over there, they're like, I think right now over there it's like noon or something. So for me, it's like noon. That's why when people are like, oh, people stay up at night and they have anxiety, it's because of entities and stuff. I'm like, dude, I'm up at night because I love the quiet of the world. I love the stars in the sky, the beautiful sound and feeling of peace of all the animals around that are sleeping, the little scuttling of little bugs outside in the grass. I feel it all. And it's easier for me to feel the collective consciousness at night. Because in the mornings, it feels like you guys go into like robot mode and social media mode, where your language becomes abbreviated, your behavior becomes a meme, and the way you communicate and converse with each other is basically just, it's kind of like you're telepathically transmitting a meme to somebody while you're talking to them, and you're both talking about the meme. Whenever I've spoken to people outside, that's the feeling I get. Like there's a in front of them. It's like I'm talking to them, but I'm not talking to them, I'm talking at them. And it's not their fault or mine. It's just they're behind this kind of veil. I don't even know how to describe it to you. It's like talking to somebody that, like a clown. And I don't mean this insultively to any clown, but it's kind of like they're in costume. And the entire time I'm like, hey, are you there? Are you okay? And they're like, coats my goats. And I'm like, the fuck? Okay. It feels like there's a distance between who they really are and who they're pretending to be. And do you know what that distance is? Authenticity, compassion, respect for self, bunch of others, but we're not going to go through all of them. Are you okay? I think I have a video called Are You Okay? By the way, if you think people are messing with you and like sending stuff towards you, and this happened to me recently, because my mom, she's in the hospital. And I blame myself. I started getting paranoid, thinking were people doing stuff. But then I realized it's a call for help. I can make up as many reasons and create enemies, but the truth is, part of me abandoned my family and my mom needed someone and needs someone, and I couldn't hear her. Nobody could hear her. I was getting messages from Spirit to go home, and I just ignored it. And had I been home yesterday, she wouldn't be where she is now. So listen to yourself. Okay? I'm going to go. Are you all right? Yes, you are. I love you. I'm here for you. My email is eveofsophia@hotmail.com. It's listed under the About section of my page. So if you go to the Star Kindler on YouTube, click on the About tab. My email is on there. My PayPal is on there if you want to, I don't know, send a Christmas gift or something. I turned off my Amazon list. Someone asked me about that earlier. I turned it off because I can't figure out how to set the address to where it isn't listing my home address. But I don't know. I don't know who needed to hear that. And thank you for clicking like on the videos that you have. Makes me smile every time I see a like. I'm like, ooh. I love interacting with you guys through comments because to me, you're all my friends. Every single one of you. I don't care what you think of yourself as. To me, you're my friend. That's why it bothers me sometimes when people try to make themselves my enemy. Why do you want me to think of you as my enemy? Why? Wouldn't it be better if we just go have coffee and sit by the lake? Go like archery, like to an archery range or horseback riding or play Jenga or something. Magic the Gathering, like we can play D&D. Do you want to play Black Desert with me? Or we can play League of Legends. I don't know. We can write a book together. We can make a tarot card deck together. Like, why would you want to be my enemy? Or anybody's enemy? Take that power back to yourself. They're all your friends. We're all part of God. Us fighting each other here is similar to God beating itself up. Like this. This is you. This is you. This is you. Weird, isn't it? That's how I see it. When people are mean to each other or mean to me or anybody, it's just like, are you okay? Because you're being weird. My neighbor the other day was doing it. He was wandering around the hallway, like, and wandering around back and forth in the hallway. And I'm like, are you okay? He was the one that gave me Lily when I moved in here. Because she was destroying his house too. He's like, I can't take it anymore, take her. And he just walked away, and then he went outside and the police got him. Like he was doing something weird and somebody had called the cops on him. And I stood there while they were like handcuffing him, and I just stood there and stared at him. I'm like, it's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. And he left me a note the next day. He's like, he fell and he broke his head and he had a concussion and he was on medication and didn't know what the fuck was going on for however long he was that whole thing was going on for. It might not have been yesterday, it might have been Saturday. I'm telling you, I don't know how to process time here. I apologize. I know it goes in 12, 24-hour increments, but when I sleep and wake up, it's not really like I sleep and wake up a lot throughout the day because I take a lot of naps because it's called prophetic dreaming. Like I have that gift. So when I sleep, I dream a lot of stuff. And I lose track of time. So you never know what they're going through, do you? So I could have been like, hey, get the fuck away from my door. What are you doing? Are you okay? Yeah, take them away. Like, no, there was something wrong, because that's not normal for a child of God to be behaving that way. So instead of causing conflict in your life with others, recognize that need for conflict within you is something that's trying to get your attention for you, not for me or like anybody else that you have a problem with. It's because there's something you have a problem with within yourself that is being mirrored back at you by someone else. So him wandering around the halls the other day is like me being loopy and not knowing what the fuck to do with myself when I'm sitting here and I have no car to go anywhere. So I just start redecorating shit around the house, like fidgety energy, right? I'm not okay in those moments. In those moments, I need somebody to pat me on the shoulder and be like, hey, let's sit down and have a cup of tea. But what have I been doing? I've been making myself a cup of tea. I've been making a pot of water boil every morning when I wake up, and I just leave it on low heat. And throughout the day, I have easy peasy tea access. So whenever I notice myself like being weird, I just go and make a cup of tea. I go and brush my hair. I put conditioner on, moisturize my skin or something. I don't put the lotion on the skin or something. Figure out a way to break the loop, okay? I taught you this years ago in a video. I don't remember which one. I have like over 400. It's the 16-second rule. Abraham Hicks talks about it too. Interrupt your brain for 16 seconds. So if you're going through a panic attack, acknowledge it. If you're going through an anxiety attack, acknowledge it, let it flow, but don't pay attention to the thoughts in your head. Instead, pay attention to the beating of your heart. And when you do that, you recognize that when it's beating fast, a part of you triggers into compassion. Trust that. That's why sometimes when you're having panic attacks, I know this happens to me, and I put my hand on my heart. Instead of being in a state of panic, I start crying because the wires get intertwined and it feels like the train is moving on a different track, but the remnants of the train are still kind of shifting track. You know what I mean? And the panic attacks usually go away within less than 5 minutes, if even that long now, because I can tell when I'm starting to have you can do it. And I'm not going to say if I can do it, you can do it, because we've both been through different stuff. But you can do it. I'm thinking, by the way, totally off topic. I don't know if I should lighten it up again or not. I kind of want to leave it. But I don't want to be blonde. I didn't want to be blonde for years, honestly. It's just been lazy to keep it that way. Like, I've been lazy to keep it blonde because it's just, you see, anxiety. You're okay, right? I'm gonna go make myself a cup of tea. Maybe watch the sunrise in a little bit. And then go to bed. I don't know. Curious. Six of materials. It's time to give to yourself. Hi. I love you.